What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 3 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded King Louen campaign. So as we saw last time, after moving through Marienburg's only, I guess, Fort Berg-Bray, we were able to return to the lands of Bretonnia and start attacking the Barrow Legion. Heinrich Kemmler and Krell, though proving to be an absolute monster in combat, both fell to King Louen's army, and we should be able to destroy the Barrow Legion reasonably quickly. It'll get, well, it'll continue to be interesting after that, I think, as we still have MOUSILLON and the Broken Axe to take care of, and the Broken Axe have managed to take Bordeaux, which should absolutely be one of our key targets right now. So we'll try to get to that as fast as possible. And frankly, the more Bretonnian mini factions get destroyed, the better for us, as we won't have to rely on technologies in order to confederate them, which is just fine, as it'll allow us to go for other techs. Anyway, before we get started, we did manage to more or less reach the 500 likes and 50 comments goal, or at least by the time that this is out, we will have reached it, and so I'm going to be doing 2 episodes today, so stay tuned for another episode later after this one. In terms of what we got to do first, I did want to set up another lord, and I know I've been setting a lot of these up, but there is a magnanimous prophetess here, so what we'll do is pop you into Couronne for now, mostly because Couronne will be making a decent amount of money, and then Marienburg will be the one making money, so we'll switch to Marienburg afterwards. And yeah, I know that this is costing us decent amounts of cash, but it'll be worth it eventually, I think. You go here, and for you, we're actually going to pledge to order. Be present in region 5 times when a building completes construction, as there will be plenty of buildings to be built, so that should be easy for you. Lovely. And, oh, in fact, I should have probably gotten you in Longhi, but I guess it doesn't really matter that much. Alright, then, Louen, you are going to move to Gisoro, wherein we will attack and leech a little bit of XP as well. Alright. We'll auto-resolve this one because it's frankly a pathetic little easy battle. And you can go here, and did I ever get you a vow? You can leech XP too. You're phlegmatic, and no, I didn't get one of these. I mean, we could have you both follow around. The thing is, you really want to get rank 10 on these prophetesses because they have the research rate plus 20 as well as the income from farms from local province and a faction-wide bonus at rank 30. Though rank 30 is a little bit more steep, we can at least achieve the arcane wisdom. And thus, I think it'll be worth our time to leech XP all over the place. So, away you go. And I wonder, will the research from rank 10 might continue to work after they've been not deleted if they're not on field. We'll try that out, because if it does, it'll be really worth it. Anyway, Louen, attack Gisoro, please, do a quick little auto-resolve. Not worth fighting, and a potion of toughness worth picking up for Louen, make him even harder to take down. Beautiful. And talisman of endurance on Eleanor. No, I don't think so, but thanks. And hello, what did we get? The blessing of the lady. Your deeds in noble and glorious battle have attracted the fey and ancient lady who has seen fit to bless you in favor. With her favor, as a reward for your heroism, you shine now with newfound radiance. Let no foe block your path. With the lady as your sword and shield, brook no resistance and strike down evil in her name. Remember, pressing peasants isn't evil, guys. Your army has gained the blessing of the lady. Is that this? The blessing of the lady. Passive ability, the blessing. Damage resistance plus 10% for everybody forever. Well, fantastic. Alright. Can't complain about that. I wonder, will we be able to reach Blackstone Post in a single bound? It looks like... I can see the edge of the arrow, so maybe. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. I'm gonna move you here, Avril Mercier, and then you here as well. Like so. We don't want them to get in Louen's way, but we want them to be a little bit closer just in case. You're not gonna go for Castle Artois, are you? Well, let's just hope not. And then we want to get the Talisman of Endurance on Louen, and we want to get the Warrior Bane probably on the Paladin. There we go. Alright, army is looking good. There is nothing to be built, and we wouldn't want to waste the money anyway, so we're going to skip, do the commandment, and then end the turn. I guess we're going to do Peasant's Duty again. We need the growth and the casualty or punishment rate. We'll need to start collecting income eventually, but for now, let's just grow everything as much as possible. We'll also want to upgrade you to tier 3 ASAP in order to be able to get Knights of the Realm and questing knights on the field for Louen, rather than solely rely on the 4 that we have. Alrighty. I don't imagine that Kemmler has a thing that allows him to come back within like 1 turn rather than 5 to 8. Peace treaty. No, I think we'll take Blackstone Post now, rather than leaving him here. I mean, it's a decent amount of cash, don't get me wrong, but it's a lot less than Marienburg was willing to pay us, so no. And where did that little army go? Oh! Well, if it isn't the Red Duke in March stance, okay, well, that is a good thing and a bad thing. The bad thing is that we'll have to move away from immediately going for Blackstone Post. The good thing is that this will mean glorious battle. I doubt that Lyonesse will be able to take MOUSILLON. We could have... And we'll have to choose, won't we? How much money will you give us now? 9k for this. We could try to peace out with him for 10 turns, although I do have a feeling everybody around us would be pissed about us doing this. But it will continue funding all of our stuff. Allow us to move down to MOUSILLON, and then to Bordelot, I guess? Oh, it's besieged. Probably by Bastogne. Okay, so that'll mean we'll probably want to confederate Bastogne as fast as possible, which is all the way over here, through Lyonesse. Alright, that may be what we want to do. I just want to double check this, and ooh, almshouses give us a plus 10 growth and leadership for peasant mobs. But nonetheless, I think we're going to go for chivalric code now. Right? 10% growth, eh? It'll be much more valuable in the early game than it will be in the late. But 6 turns, it's a little bit steep, wouldn't you say? Now, you know what, we're gonna go for the chivalric code. Plus, this will unlock all of these things, which we'll be able to use our valor for, while we don't have a crazy amount of knights. Anyway, let's move Avril Mercier right here.
I have seen the way.
And then Eleanor, you're gonna move in as well. You can actually just stand, I don't really care. Like so. And then Louen, you're going after the Red Duke. And we'll level him up before we do so. Well, actually not Louen, because he's saving his skill points, but everybody else. Wind Blast and Curse the Midnight Wind. We'll do both. I think both will come in very handy against the piles of the dead, though I still do want to replace the Damsel with the Damsel of Life rather than Heavens. Not that I dislike the lore of the Heavens, I actually really like it. It's one of my favorites, but for piles of knights, I think we'll get more mileage out of the... let's get your blade shield. Out of the life lore. You, oh what? So I didn't check what he has in his army, but it's nothing crazy. We should be able to deal with this just fine, especially since he's in March stance, which means he's screwed, as Vigor is horrific to deal with. And SFO, here we go. Alrighty, here we go. I certainly wasn't expecting to go from Kemmler to the Red Duke before destroying the Barrow Legion, but hey, you gotta roll with the punches. Anyway, we're gonna start off by sending our knights once again on a single flank, and the peasant distraction force to their positions. They can stay and they can die, for all we care. More importantly, we're going to try to do as much damage with our fast movers, our Cav and Co, as possible. This White King is isolated, and thus Louen and his paladin are going to go after the White King and should destroy him without too much trouble, while the knights go ahead and start on the enemy infantry. And as you can see in the background, Pegasus Knights are dropping bats out of the sky. Ooh, this is actually a good example. You can see that the enemy spear line actually had the time to brace here, while this second one did not have the time to brace. Despite the mass of the Knights Errant, they were not able to charge through that line of spears here, and were just forced to sit still, and we're going to have to back them off, which is a little bit unfortunate for them, since they were, they had plenty of time to build up charge speed, but it's a good showcase of a charge being stopped in its tracks. Very nice. Alrighty, and we're going to have to back one off and retry that, and the other one did actually more or less charge through and break the formation of the first of the enemy spears. Over on this side, it looks like the White King is nearly done for. Dealing with two paladins ain't a great thing. There we go, Louen gets the last blow, and the undead horse runs away. I've always been surprised that the undead horses just run rather than crumbling or dropping. This indicates that the horse of the White King is also a wight rather than a something like a zombie or a skeleton, and because there's enough dark magic, dark winds of magic, whatever, used up in the creation of this horse to allow it to stick around despite its owner being dead, which is interesting. Although I suppose at the same time, it does make sense, as the way the White King was created, and Graveguard and Whites in general are created. Ooh, nice charge, by the way. I'm getting distracted. What was I talking about? I got distracted by the charge. Alright, something about the undead. But anyway, there we go. Speaking of undead, they're flying all over place. And here come the knights. You gotta love these wide open battlefields, as they allow us to do whatever we please to these piles of enemy infantry. And we gotta enjoy it while we can, as these are the weaker infantry that will be most susceptible to this sort of thing. It's not going to be as effective later in the game when we start facing off against lots of elites. Anyway, in the meantime, while the knights are having their fun, the same can also be said of the paladins, as Louen and his pal are going after the Red Duke, who is not standing alone and is calling for aid from those whites. And oh, the way they just got swept away is fantastic, and it looks like the Red Duke doesn't have enough mass to stop that either. Well, he called for aid, and then they got swept away by the tide of horse and lance. Glorious. Well, they're going to keep working on the Red Duke, but let's see what's going on with the rest of the battle. The distraction force, oddly enough, is not really holding off any enemies. It looks like the knights are distracting the enemy sufficiently so that it's not needed. The vigor on the enemy being drained also probably not helping matters. Over on this side, we have our Pegasus Knights, who have caught the enemy direwolves. I mostly wanted them destroyed so that the direwolves were not annoying our archers by hitting them in the back, which I doubt was going to happen, but now they're crumbling away, and we can move the Pegasus Knights out there before they get killed by the other White King, who was around here and chasing them around. There he is, who was chasing them around. Alright, let's check back on the rest of the battle. The Red Duke is down to about half HP, and the poor zombies, skeletons, Graveguard, and Crypt Ghouls are all having pretty bad time of it as well, as the knights just mow them down in the background. Alright, he's popping Van Hell's down some Macabre. You should probably go with Invocation of Nehek, buddy. I don't think the Dance Macabre is going to help you against those two, but hey, it's your call. Alrighty, another little charge from the knights into those zombies. They didn't have enough time to build up speed, but it's okay. Not a big deal. Haven't seen the peasants do too much in this particular battle, so let's see those arrows thunk into the zombie hordes. Although the zombie hordes are already melting away before even getting to the lines of men-at-arms. Very, very nice. I know I'm biased, but I mean, vampire counts are my favorite, but I love playing against the undead too. It's very fun. I love sending zombie hordes, and I love mowing down zombie hordes as well. And they're just so entertaining. Anyway, with that, it looks like most of the enemy front line is pretty much collapsed. There's still a few units running around the Red Duke in the background, but, well, they're pretty much done for as well, and I guess we can watch the rest of the fight against the Red Duke himself. Although now that Louen has regeneration, he probably could have defeated the Red Duke by himself without too much trouble. I would say, as in he didn't need the others. But hey, the Red Duke called for aid first. Alrighty, and what is this? Oh, he's being moved away by one of the knights, but that's okay. Louen's back in action. A few more skeletons in the background to be destroyed, but we've seen plenty of it. Oh, and here come the Pegasus Knights to help out with that a little bit. The Paladin, unfortunately, got stuck fighting a pile of Graveguard. But it's actually a nice shot. I kind of like the MOUSILLON colors. Nice and visible. And the map is nice and visible as well. Once again, a great thing. Unlike that damn orc battle, which I'll probably be recalling for the rest of the campaign. Anyway, down goes the Duke, and not in a good way, and only his Graveguard remain. Alright, charge right through them, and oh, is there another unit? Oh, look, a few skeleton spears alive. Well, alive. Once again, not quite the right word. And not for long either way. Alright, just clean up time now. There, we can even just move away so that we're careful and not getting damaged by our own bows. Alright, now obviously this particular battle was... this is poor Graveguard. I don't know what to call this pose, but it is amusing me. He kind of looks like he's dancing. He's actually having a fun time. This is the dance macabre that they've been talking about. Anyway, fairly easy battle this time around, but hardly surprising as the Red Duke foolishly moved in march stance, and on top of that we had this nice wide open field to maneuver in, so we had all the advantages here, and we had to take them. Camera went crazy, what the heck? Well, at the very least, we had a nice battle and a nice win. All you need is an open field, and those poor dead went down easy. We are going to take the money this time around, though. Though execute captives might allow us to reach MOUSILLON in a single bound, I'm not sure, but we do need money. I'm gonna still run some captives and hope that we're in an okay position. Let's see. No, it looks like you can reach it anyway. We're fine. We're gonna be fine. And bonus chivalry per turn, more bonus chivalry per turn, and savior. Gained by reinforcing a friendly army. Charge bonus plus 10 and speed bonus plus 10? Oh my. We need to acquire that for Louen. That seems very necessary. Hey, we have the Holy Wardens of La Maison Tal as our next regiment of renown. We have reached rank 10 with Louen, which means also that we have the Pursuit of Battle, so physical resistance and melee defense. Swell. And reach rank 20 to get another errantry of Louen. It's all Louen errantries. Channeling Staff and Errantry of Zeal. Win 5 battles, immune to attrition. Well, that's fantastic. You still have the attrition thing over you, though. Curious. Wait, is there a way to test this easily? I was gonna test it with one of the, prophetesses, but it looks like that's iffy. Alright, that's fine. That's fine, we can reach MOUSILLON either way. Now the question still stands, do we peace out with you? 9k is quite a bit after all. We could just hope that you get destroyed by somebody else. The problem here... Well, there are multiple... Oh. Now, yeah, where are you going, Bellacore? Where are you going, Who are you at war with currently? You're currently at war with Ruinous. Oh my. That could potentially be very nice. If he remains at war with Ruinous and doesn't attack us, we could potentially kill him here. Maybe even would be worth our time to sail northward and destroy Bellacore's faction. Early, rather than having to deal with him. Certainly a bunch of choices. I'm just still wondering whether it's worth it to peace out for 9k right now. It's 9k. We can always come back and deal with Kemmler and Corel afterwards. On the other hand, how many turns? Let me just see here. It would take 1, and then 2, 3, 4 turns to get back to the Blackstone post. Oh, you know what? 9k is 9k. I'm gonna peace out with you right now, and then we'll redeclare war afterwards. And honestly, if he takes a little bit more territory, that'll be of benefit to us anyway, so hardly a complaint. Alright, and you guys are all gonna stay near to Louen. And now we'll do some building. First of all, Castle Artois. We'll start with the Woodsman's Hut, I guess, to get more trade agreements going. Although the fields will give us more growth. And we do need that growth. Yeah, fine, do the fields first. Longy, I'd love to do the fields with you, but I think we need to prioritize a guardhouse here. Things are gonna attack Longy. It's pretty much inevitable. Although a guardhouse wouldn't really, until you're level 3, it wouldn't really protect us anyway, would it? Nah, you know what, I'm just gonna go for the fields. At least it's a low investment that way. Grungzint will upgrade you to the next level. I'm still not gonna go for the upgrade on Fort Bergbray yet. I just don't think it's worth the investment at the current time. We got 0 income, but we're doing okay. Alrighty, Garrison Lord non-moved, that is you. And, oh, actually, out of curiosity. Yeah, so this is only in the region, the Pledge to Order. It doesn't count for you, but what we can do is this. Go to Longy, and that will count, and then all the stuff that gets built at Couronne will count as well. We'll probably also want to swap out the rally field to somewhere else like Castle Artois, but we'll do that later. Anyway, skip, and turn. And we'll check Diplo next turn. Alright, I wonder who's besieging Bordeaux as well. And whoever it is, I hope they fail. Did they fail? Something changed there. Be nice to run into Grom the Paunch. Although, once again, I do still think we'll probably have to go northward to deal with Bellacore. What do we have here? Rebel Lords of Nanyang destroyed. I fail to see how that's our problem. Aha! And where are you going? See, he's going to doubtless land at Longy. Alright. Well, if he takes it, he takes it. You're gonna return to Couronne. We're not going to invest any further in Longy. I just want to double check that your vow is working. Good. And I did give the vow or the trough to... Oh, damn, I didn't give the trough to you. Well, it's only 1 level, not a big deal. Pledge to chivalry as well. Now I have to double check everybody. Okay, you're nearly there. We also want to probably redo the itemization on you. And oh, look at that. You got your next vow as well. Oh, right, because you leveled up. Good. We'll deal with that in a second. So what did we get? We got the Trickster Shard and the Channeling Staff. Cooldown to spells. I think that the cooldown to spell thing should probably go to our healer. Yeah, we'll give you the Trickster Shard. You know what we'll do? We'll do this. Yes. Switch those around. Do we get any new ancillaries, more hedge wizards, and a gleaming pennant? I guess we can have a gleaming pennant for you, sir, and just for a little bit. Then we'll also want to upgrade you, Castle Artois, and we'll want to check everybody's vows and stuff. You're not nearly there. What do you have? Pledge to Manan, win a battle at sea. Pledge to campaign, win a siege battle in a desert or jungle. Pledge to protect and defeat a legendary lord of ogre kingdoms, beastmen, greenskins, or dark elves. Win a battle at sea. I have to wonder whether the islands count. I would imagine that they do, in which case, if we are going to sail to Bellicorn, and we most definitely are, that would be fairly easy to achieve, so we'll pledge to Manan. What do we get out of this? Ooh, that's actually a pretty good one. Winds of magic cost and cooldown reduction by 10%. Can't complain about that. Alright, and you two are stuck as you currently are. Alright, so, next we will take out MOUSILLON. And it looks like, oh right, MOUSILLON is very heavily defended. This one is, well, it's going to be an issue. Or is it? I think we can force them into a field battle, in which case it won't be an issue. As long as it's out in an open field. Then we'll move Eleanor Dubois in March stance, unfortunately, but here, and then we'll move you, Avril Mercier, hopefully close enough, here as well. Alright, and look at that. You guys have an army and lots of peasants. Wait. Huh. Yeah, the AI is screwing its own peasant economy over, but, well, I suppose it's hardly surprising. Alrighty, so we'll stay in siege here, but we will, since we've been saving points, and get a few points spent. So we have the Dukedom's Bond and the Fount of Honor, and it looks like they don't lock each other out. Fantastic. Diplomatic relations plus 20 with all factions. Very, very valuable. And what do we get here? It's capacity? Hero capacity for paladins and sons. Upkeep reduction for cav units. We got buffs for Louen himself, which is great. And guardianship casualty punishment rate and construction costs for all buildings. This is all fine. Reinforcement rage plus 25% Lord's Army. Alright, we'll go Fount of Honor first. Upkeep reduction for knights. And, interesting that Fount of Honor here is an upkeep reduction for knights, but then we have cavalry reduction here as well. But anyway, I think Respected by All is just so useful that we're gonna do that first. And then other things after. Respected by All. Reduce... Did that actually reduce the upkeep of these guys? I wonder. 205, 268, was that actually work? I mean, I guess it's only 10%, which ain't that much. And it's only Knights of the Realm and Questing Knights, so, it wouldn't apply to the Knights Errant anyway. So we need to build more Knights of the Realm, which we're gonna work on as soon as we can. Alrighty, well, either way. This is not worth our time right now, the lowly masses. I think I kinda want another Paladin. Or actually, the Army of the King, more casualty replenishment for knights. That would be swell as well. The Lady's Mantle, just checking anything that might be even more useful. And then what we currently have. Beloved Son of Bretonnia, that's at rank 12. Construction costs for all buildings will be useful, but not right now. And this is just straight up casualty replenishment, which is also always useful. It's a harder decision than you would think. I know, nonetheless, I'm gonna go for Exemplary Conduct. We'll take a look at the Paladins available as well. We got Virtue of the Impetuous Knight, which gives melee attack plus, it's only for you, versus Virtue of Confidence. Bolstered Defense for everybody nearby. And that seems like it would be just the ticket, so let's do that. Nathan Michaud, and you are going to follow along. We'll get you your vow as well, which I guess is once again going to be Chivalry. Yeah, it's definitely going to be Chivalry. It would be weird if it wasn't. Alright, you're going to stay there, and we're going to hope that they attack. Yeah, we have buildings to be built, sorta, but we're not going to build them. What we can do, however... Damn. The peasant bowmen are so expensive. We'll need to maybe level you up so that we can make the recruitment a little bit cheaper. Do any of the stances allow us to cheaply recruit peasants? Doesn't look like it. I also gotta remember to switch to the construction cost reduction at Couronne. 360. And we can do it when we start upgrading everything there. So not right now. Skip, 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 and turn. And we'll do diplomacy next turn. I want to fight again. And I'm kind of curious to see as to what the forces of chaos will do up here. Well, Norska and chaos, I should say. Alright, Bellicour sailing down. Please, please go for Leoness, buddy. That would work out so swell for us. Although I guess he could lose, in which case not as swell. And where are you going? Well, he's obviously gonna go for Longhi, isn't he? Confederation, Reichland, and Stirland, and these guys did not in fact attack us. Huh. Now the question is, do we attack them or do we abandon the siege and try to go for this guy? And we wouldn't be able to reach him, I think. Yeah, we wouldn't be able to reach him. I was thinking maybe if we were to go into March stance, we'd be able to go all the way out here. This gives us a campaign movement range of plus 75. Hard to say. Wait. Now, you two are already in March stance, and you can't really reach him. Because then we could have had Esther attack Leif. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to let Longhi go. It's not like they can take Couronne. It's more worth it to take MOUSILLON. Oh, damn, the Fey Enchantress took Bordelot. Well, that's unfortunate. We'll have to hope that it falls again or go around, but it's okay. I guess this way we have things to do. Anyway, we are... Well, we can't afford to stay here, I think, so we're gonna have to go up. Up and away. In my motorboat. Gleaming Pen Simpsons reference. And Gleaming Pennant on, let's say... the peasants. You know what, we are gonna send them up on into the towers. Alright, a siege with actual siege towers. Let's get to it.
I am king here.
Alright, well, apparently Ruinous King here, just in case some of you weren't aware. I love the fact that the Paladin is now on the Pegasus as well, which is gonna be very helpful throughout the rest of this as he can follow Louen around, and the two can act together. Anyway, unlike the previous battle, this one should be, I think, quite a bit more difficult. The enemy have 11 Graveguard to their name, 6 of which are Greatsword Graveguard, which are most definitely a threat to our knights due to the armor piercing, and the fact that this is SFO, so infantry do tend to stay in combat for quite a bit longer. SFO does make fights longer in general, so we do have to be careful. The reason that matters in this particular case is because once we're inside the city, the settlement, we won't have the ability to maneuver around, and thus the Graveguard are likely to get a lot more damage in. Especially with us unable to, charge through them, rear charge, cycle charge, charge, etc. Charge your devices, folks. Anyway, the first of the enemy units have been knocked out, and it was a unit of Felbets, and generally we want to knock these things out of the sky so that they don't land upon the land upon the archers outside of the settlement. Granted, the AI is relatively unlikely to do that, but I've certainly seen in certain situations, and I don't know what exactly of the AI behaviors dictate this, but in certain situations, the AI is willing to sally out with its flyers and actually hit your units, so just in case that happens, we'll prevent it by preemptively killing them all, or returning them to the grave. Anyway, outside we have our ram. Oh, the Bretonnian ram actually looks quite nice. Huh. Not too bad. Obviously, it's not all crazy and fancy like some of the other factions, but, it's still nice. And medievally, as everything is here, the towers are pretty bare bones, but look the most realistic of the siege towers and everything, so it makes sense as well. Alrighty. Keep annoying the enemy, arrows arcing over the walls, and we will not be sending in our our knights until we've run out of arrows and softened up the targets as much as we can. And granted, these are the basic peasants, and they're just not going to do enough damage to Graveguard due to their armor to soften them up all that much, so most of the work will still be the knights. Alright, now we found an isolated hero, and the vampiress loses her head, and we can get the heck out of there. These two can continue and doing work in their current manner, and look at that, they're tied for 17 kills apiece. And now we have another isolated hero, and we might as well continue doing this. The AI likes to periodically do this as well, use its strong heroes to go after your weaker heroes, like necromancers and stuff, so it's getting a taste of its own medicine in this particular case. Oh, I love vampire cities. Gotta love the architecture. Alrighty. And here we go, the white and... Yeah, see, this is also a dark map, but because we're fighting the undead, rather than the... well, parts of it, I should say, are a dark map. Because we're fighting the undead, rather than the orcs, I still really enjoy the dark parts of these maps. Those balefire glow, or the balefire glow in those eyes, makes it nice and cinematic, plus the way that it contrasts with the holy glow on the weapons of the paladins. Ain't it beautiful? Anyway, I digress. I'll always take a moment to praise the vampire counts, and down goes the White King. And this one's horse had died as well, rather than escaping like in the previous battle. Interesting. Anyway, while the White King goes down, we have been doing a little bit of damage to the Black Knights as well as the Pegasus Knights charge them in the back. Now the enemy's moving in some Graveguard to help those Black Knights out, but I still think that we'll be able to do damage to both, so... we'll let the Graveguard move in to try to kill off Louen and the Paladin, which they won't be able to do, and then we'll hit them again with the Pegasus Knights. And gotta make use of that, what was it, 132 charge. And there we go. Not enough mass to send all the Graveguard flying, but the damage should be there. The Graveguard are getting close to half HP. And we'll continue poking away at them until we force them to crumble. I would have loved to have focused the knights down first, but that's okay. The knights, these are black knights, and they're not strong enough to deal with a Louen or a paladin, really. So they can continue to hold. In the meantime, let's see how the rest of the battle is going. The arrow rain continues to fall yet again, but the peasants are now down to about 15% of their ammunition. And as you can see, despite using all of their ammunition all this time, there really isn't much damage on most of the Graveguard. This one actually did get hurt, although this might have been hurt before. I'm not sure if there was a hurt unit when the battle started. But either way, we're going to have to kill all those Graveguard and all those skeletons the old-fashioned way, so I think it's quite necessary to do what we're doing here and try to deprive the enemy of every unit that it foolishly isolated. Or allowed to be isolated, I should say. Alright, another cycle charge from the Pegasus Knights hitting those Black Knights in the back. It looks like the Graveguard are melting away, and so the Black Knights follow. Or actually, the Black Knights melted first, and the Graveguard will follow instead. Alright, order of operations. Alright, down they go in the dark, but not to worry, the rest of the battle will be a lot more bright. And hey, we're pretty much out of arrows now, so here come the knights. They're gonna charge right in. Unfortunately, it looks like they don't have either the mass or the charge speed to charge right through the enemy, which is a shame. I was hoping that they would be able to just directly charge through this line of spears, and thus be able to charge into the city proper, but unfortunately that's not going to happen. Oh well, and not a big deal. Here comes Louen and the Paladin Matt returning to the fray, and they're going to go after the Necromancer now, who does have plenty of zombies and Graveguard and whatnot guarding him, but that's why we wanted the Knights in right now, to distract these piles of units. Now, gotta be careful, you're gonna get mobbed by zombies. And I'm not one to underestimate the humble zombie, as it is one of my favorite units in the game. humble though it may be. Alright, plenty of knights have entered the fray now, and the peasants have arrived as the siege towers have disgorged their troops on top of the walls, especially since the walls were clear. We're going to use the peasants to pin all those graveguard zombies and skeletons in place, while the knights do their best to try to find a position to maneuver in. Alright, and obviously the peasants will be ground down by the undead. They have no chance against Graveguard, whether it be sword and board or great weapon. But their purpose is only to pin them in place, so they will serve it. There we go, gonna disrupt that formation a little bit with a wind blast. But once again, the PDF, the Peasant Distraction Force, is doing work. And the work that it's supposed to do, which is spend their lives to buy a minute of distraction, or a second of distraction as needed, for the knights. Alright, now the knights unfortunately are also more or less pinned in place here, but the enemy necromancer is in bad shape. Louen and Matt are having a difficult time getting through the pile of units to go after that necromancer now, as they don't have an ability to easily allow them to lift off. Not a huge problem, however, as the Pegasus Knights are still more or less free and clear, or at least able to be so, and are thus going to peel away from where they were trying to fight together with the Knights and go after that Necromancer. In the fight against Kemmler in the previous episode, the Pegasus Knights killed off, what, 2 or 3 Necromancers? I don't remember. So I think a Master Necromancer shouldn't pose all that much more of a problem, especially one that was already basically killed off by Lou and Matt. Oh, that was glorious. They all seem to have hit the Master Necro with their lances at the same time, skewering him from a dozen different directions. A beautiful shot and well done to the Pegasus Knights. Alrighty, well, Lou and the Paladin are clearly still distracted, but they're facing off against things that can't really easily damage them, so they can just continue to fight and rack up kills. 50 and 62 kills. Not too bad. The Knights are actually getting close to being free and clear, as only a few more units remain, and as soon as they melt away, they'll be able to apply themselves to wherever else they're needed. Not bad, not bad. How are the peasants doing in the meantime? We have healed them. I know. We're wasting precious winds of magic on peasants, but we have healed them a few times. They are still taking some damage here. 30% HP, this one's nearly at half HP. But they will continue to be damaged, so we'll have to be careful. And the Knights will probably peel away and kill off these guys around Lou and Matt before joining the peasants. Alrighty, well, the peasants can at least clear some zombies out. They may have no chance against Graveguard, but zombies are something they're roughly equivalent to, or at the very least, peasant mobs are. And not to worry, I will use some peasant mobs later on as well, not just men-at-arms, just for fun. Alrighty, if we get that upgrade that allows us to cheaply recruit peasant mobs, I might even get a follower army with a damsel, just nothing but peasant mobs and a few grail relics, and nothing else. And then Lewin's army can do what it pleases while those guys act as the new PDF army. Alrighty, plenty of corpses on the ground. I think more peasants than Graveguard in this particular situation. This unit is nearly done for, but not a big deal. More peasants are needed. Well, actually, no, we're out of peasants. We're not going to send the archers in to fight, though more enemies are moving in to reinforce as well. Good for them. The Knights have now moved away, once again, as I said, unable really to maneuver, but I guess they don't need it anymore. Just a matter of knocking out all of these blobs of Graveguard and skeletons, and then charging those being pinned by the peasants afterwards. Here come the Pegasus Knights moving in and hitting the enemy in the back, forcing the remnants of this little blob to be enveloped. Destroy the undead. Yeah, I like the way that You just said that. I like the way that they call attention to the specific units or the specific factions that they're fighting. Obviously, various armies have that. Very nice blow from Louen, knocking several of the Grave Guard apart, and they begin to crumble away, or continue crumbling away. In the meantime, the Knights can go on and charge those that are still fighting in the back, or the flanks, I guess, in this particular case. And how are the peasants doing? Let's see, this one's okay. I think one managed to rout, and they are starting to look a little bit the worse for wear, but I think they've held off the enemy, I should say, more than long enough. The Knights are no longer busy with their own stuff, and now they can deign to spare a few moments to bail the peasants out. Here come the Pegasus Knights. We're going to target the Grave Guard with great swords as the main target, as they're the biggest damage dealers remaining on the map. And the battle is ours. There we go. The chain route is here. Everybody begins to crumble away, and now it's just a matter of time. Looks like we can win the war of attrition with the dead, as long as we send peasant after peasant into their hungry maws. There we are, and I think there's one more unit of Black Knights left, but, they'll begin to crumble faster once we reach them. Alright, not too bad at all. I thought that this might have been, well, I mean, it still took some decent effort to deal with MOUSILLON, as in the settlement, but it could have been much worse. Alright, and here comes Louen and the Paladin. I was hoping that that would force the remaining Black Knights to just super quickly crumble away, but it looks like they're going to take a few seconds. Alright, well, I'll let them do so. We can move some Knights of the Realm with their anti-large in and help matters out. I don't want to move the Pegasus Knights in anymore because they're at about half HP, and they could thus potentially lose quite a few units if we're not careful. Whereas this particular Knights of the Realm is close to full. Alrighty, and there we go, the last of the Black Knights fall, and... oh, that wasn't a Black Knight. The barding being black and yellow, just like the Black Knights made me think that that was one of the enemy. Oops. Well, at least none of ours decided to take that particular knight's head. Anyway, decisive victory for us. MOUSILLON falls, and I believe the faction should be destroyed unless it has some other secret army somewhere. Well, let's find out. Alrighty, very, very nice, and all it cost us was 400 and, I don't know, 15-ish peasants, something along those lines, a little over 400 peasants, let's say. And they didn't do too bad, as well as the peasant distraction force continues to be effective. The MVPs for this one got to go to those Pegasus Knights once again, as they were just so valuable, especially against the undead who have no easy way of dealing with them in the early game. Let's occupy the place. I wish I remembered what tier it was at, but we'll occupy it either way. Too bad we can't build something. Like a reconsecrated something at MOUSILLON, but oh well, not a big deal. We'll get rid of the training field, and we will not collect the income for now. As Sword of the Quest and a Court Jester, that will come in handy, as I do imagine we'll be forced into fighting Nikari sooner rather than later as well. MOUSILLON destroyed, there's that armor of silvered steel, and I guess we're giving everybody items. The armor should go probably on you, Florence, mostly because you have... well, actually, 60 armor ain't too bad. You don't look like you would have 60 armor. But your horse may be barded, so I guess it would count that as well. I was wondering whether we should delete Sword of the Quest, but probably not. At least not at the current time. And by delete, I mean fuse, but close enough. Anyway, Louen, you're stuck where you are. You two can just stay here, and you might as well channel while you're at it. because we will want Louen to reinforce you. You're at level 5 and you're at level 3, so your vows ain't there yet, but I'm sure they're getting there. You got one more level to go. You have to win your battle at sea, and then you, Louen... I mean, we could get another point in Exemplary Conduct. Maybe we should have done that first. But you know what? I think we're not going to bother building another paladin at the current time, so we'll wait on it. And we'll wait. The Dukedom's Bond... Maybe we'll start heading through the Dukedom's Bond as well. I don't see too much usefulness for... Well, wait. Clarion Calls is for barracks buildings. I take it that's this building. Meaning we could build it really, really quickly and cheaply. But at the other hand, is it worth 2 points just for that? I feel like it isn't. I guess the local recruitment capacity is nice, but I don't think this is worth the points. Honestly, even Exemplary Conduct might not be super worth the points, and we have to be careful, because Louen looks to be pretty point-hungry. Global recruitment capacity, I'm sure there's stuff that we'll want to get in the Dukedom's Bond. However, for now, maybe we start heading towards Raleigh. Let's get Glorfiniel's progeny. Alright. Looks good to me, and the rest can be leveled up later. We have some buildings to... yeah, demolish this. To build. Now, we have to remember that in SFO, these buildings also provide garrison stuff, so could be useful to have it here. You know what? Maybe we do have it here. At least for... no, we'll need to make it grow and get the defenses up and running. Never mind. Ignore me. Gisero, Gap, and Fort Berg Bray, not spending 4k on you, but I will check diplomacy this time around. Because, oh my, okay, yep. Yeah, I've been ignoring you too long. And oh wow, look at that. Marienburg wants to trade now. Fascinating. Middenland is looking pretty good as well. Usually they die, but could be a decent ally in the sense that by allying with them, we make Reichland happier. I expect that when the endgame scenario rolls around, there's a good chance that Reichland will, well, maybe not be destroyed, but let's just say not be in very good shape, so, yeah. I will do non-aggression and military access with you, Fey Enchantress, though of course we will be confederating you. We just gotta make sure she doesn't die. What's her, okay, we'll check in a second. There's Fey Enchantress, Carcassonne, you got 3 territories. They do have a bad habit of getting crushed by either the Skaven or Morgr or the orcs here, so I am wary of it. Anyway, Yvresse will trade with you as well, and yeah, fine, you can have 360 money. Let's get all the agreements. Hopefully Eltharion doesn't die either.
Sigma's will.
Not that, I mean, we could take some Ulthuan territories, but I feel like it's better for Eltharion to have them and deal with the Dark Elves and stuff, while we sort of look on in bemusement. Anyway, a Lord non-moved, unassigned skill points, building upgrade available, Garrison Lord, end turn. The Vanaheimlings rather, will presumably attack Longyi. They will, there's no way that they can take Couronne. And, I mean, I guess they could take Kessel-Artois. But Lewin's right here, and he'll bring them down if they try it. Anyway, let's see what these guys do. We are basically out of time, but I'm curious to see whether Be'lakor and the Vanaheimlings will declare war on us. I actually do wonder, are the Vanaheimlings capable... Ah, Be'lakor is coming in here. Good. Slaneshi giggle. Alright, Bastan, you want military access? Yeah, sure, why not? Oh wait, the reason I didn't do this earlier was because I don't know whether they're friendly with the Wood Elves, and this looks like... this looks reddish. That might mean Talzin hates them. I think Arguelon is okay with them, but Talzin and Vidrioth and Torgaval might not like them. Which means we can't do this right now. Oh, we already have non-aggression and trade. No, you know what, we're fine for now. I'm sure they'll be willing to do that at some point anyway. Draining Winds. Growth for all... Wow, that is a heck of a debuff. Growth minus 20 all provinces. That's goes counter to everything we've been doing here, game. But oh well. Whoa. Golden Order Confederated Talabeclan, that's fine. What did I just see here? Talisman of preservation 16% and holy icon, research 8 techs. We're working on it. Bretonia's quite slow at early game techs though. Looks like Mr. Goldbranson is staying at Longyi. I hope it's a nice little vacation for him. We cannot reach him at the current time, even in March stance, but we can get reasonably close. Anyway, with that, we're basically out of time, and I am gonna call the episode here until at some point later today. And what we're going to do next time, most likely I'd say 99%, is wait around here until Bellicourt presumably lands. He is going to try to fight these guys, and we're gonna hope he wins, or maybe these guys react to him in some way, at which point we'll try to clean up these armies, and then maybe even sail out and conquer Albion. I'm not 100% sure as to whether we'll be holding Albion, but the Ogham Stones rather, thank you for correcting me on that pronunciation. I don't remember from which campaign, but from some campaign. We may want to hold those despite this being a red territory. I'll think about it. Or we could just destroy it or give it to somebody. Either way, we don't want Bellicourt coming back over and over again just to annoy our coastline. And that's for certain. Anyway, stay tuned for more Louen. Don't forget to leave a like and comment. All glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.